Good morning, St. John's. This Black History moment is something very near and dear to my heart. This topic is on Black media trailblazers. I have worked in journalism for 15 years now, and I have worked specifically in entertainment news for 7 years. And I truly love what I do, and I am truly blessed and fortunate and probably a little crazy for working in this field as it continues to change. And I felt with everything going on in media, nobody knowing what to trust, Black media has gone through so much within the last few years. I thought it was important to highlight the people who made it possible for me to be one of the people archiving our history in the way that I am. So we'll get started. So first we're going to get started with Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells is the first woman to be a published journalist, and she did so at a time when Black people, specifically and especially Black women, were not allowed to read or write. Ida B. Wells was born in 1892 in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and she became known as the first to really document what was happening around her and inform her audience, aka journalism. And she did so while she was working as a teacher in Memphis. That is where she began writing for a column for The Living Way, which was a newspaper that allowed her to write about controversial and anti segregation articles and to really bring attention to what was happening in the city of Memphis. And she did so under the pen name Iola to protect herself and because she liked the look of it. She liked the look of her name after seeing it misinterpreted from her own handwriting. Her writings for the newspaper on race and justices earned her a national reputation, and she later became the editor and co owner of the Free Speech and Headlight. However, when three of her friends who owned the People's Grocery Company, their names were Thomas Moss, Calvin McDowell, and Henry Stewart, and they were all Black male grocery store co-owners, and they were arrested and lynched by a mob in 1892 while in police custody due to how great they were in competing with white grocers. They were on top. Wells began documenting the widespread practice of lynching, particularly the lynching of Black men in the United States during the 1890s. Wells also participated in the founding of several Black organizations that still exist right now. Those include the National Association of Colored Women, the Afro American Council, and the NAACP, which was founded in 1910. She also stood up for injustice by refusing to change seats on segregated trains in Chesapeake, Ohio, and the Southwestern Railroad. Her work continued into her final days, and she actually spent the last 3 years of her life writing her autobiography while also running for state senate. And we also have Essence Magazine. Essence Magazine is one of my top legendary, iconic magazines. And it is the first magazine to tell stories that uplift Black women through lifestyle, fashion, wellness, health, beauty, all of the things that we love. And it was actually ironically founded by four men. So we have them to thank for Essence. In 1968, Edward Lewis, Clarence O. Smith, Cecil Hollingsworth, and Jonathan Blount created the magazine after seeing a need for a platform that specifically catered to Black women. They enlisted several Black female writers to join the magazine, including Ruth Ross, who was actually has been credited for giving the Essence its name. The magazine published in 1970, and it has since become a trusted voice in Black entertainment, lifestyle, health, wellness, and as of 2020, it remains a Black-owned publication under the tutelage of another Black man who is actually dear to my hair, Shea Moisture founder Richie Lou Dennis. And finally, I could not do anything about Black History Month and media and the intersections of it all without naming someone who is my shiro, Oprah Gail Winfrey. Of course, we all, who doesn't want to be Oprah? Duh. Oprah is a trailblazer in so many ways. She was born in Mississippi, which is where she discovered her passion for journalism early on and got started right at 19 while still in college. When she was 29, she became the host of AM Chicago, which would be known as the Oprah Winfrey Show. The show made her the first Black woman to host a syndicated talk show. She continued expanding her business savvy with O, the Oprah magazine, and in 2003, she became the first Black woman to become a billionaire, and years later, knocked down doors again with the launch of her network OWN, or the Oprah Winfrey Network, which she launched in 2011. Today, Oprah remains a legend in the journalism space and the media space, the entertainment space, any space, basically, and is the reason I was able to see that a plus size Black woman could not only take up space in this industry, but own it. These are just a few of the trailblazers who shifted media in Black culture and beyond. And I learned so much about them. I learned a little more about some people that I knew their names, I didn't know too much about them. And it's just really rich to see that there were so many people invested early on in Black media and telling Black stories in ways that were true to us and were able to humanize us as well. So I hope you learned something and yeah, invest in Black media. Yeah.